Hey y'all, get ready for Conversations with Deborah Franklin. Sit back, relax, grab you something to drink because we're getting ready to dive right in with conversations for the grown and sexy.
Well, hello, everybody. Y'all, welcome to the show. I'm so excited about tonight because we are going to have so much fun, y'all. We getting ready to take it to another level. When I tell you Conversations with Deborah Franklin is taking it higher and higher and higher, and we are going higher. Y'all, today has been crazy. For those of you that are in education and that are virtual, some are virtual, some are going live, y'all. Y'all know I'm an educator by day. We had to have parent conferences, and those parent conferences were hilarious because we had to do them virtual. Y'all, it was funny. Now I'm sitting in my empty classroom going virtual with my parents. It was crazy. But you know what? Life does go on. Things do happen, and we are still making it do what it do. Y'all, I'm so excited about tonight because I have some awesome guests that are on, and we are talking about something that I know a lot of us are dealing with right now because we are in the middle of a pandemic. We have been doing what everybody's been saying to do. We've read the book, we've written the book, we've done all that we know that we could do, but it's still not happening. We're trying to figure out why it's not happening. And that's why I kept saying, whatever that it is for you, tonight, y'all, we talking about it. But I wanted to dive in and talk about somebody else doing motivational moment because when I was sitting back, and y'all know I like doing studies about what's going on and who's doing what and how things are going. And so one thing that I started thinking about was my two new homegirls. Y'all, my two new homegirls got to be Hannah and Penina. So I was like, what does this have to do with anything? And I was like, and then I started thinking because Hannah, her it was a child. Her it was a child. And so she had been praying for a child. And then y'all know the story. And if you don't, go back and read 1 Samuel. And so you can get caught up. But the thing is, she was like, after 10 years, she was like, okay, she told her husband, go ahead and get with Penina. Penina bore her all these kids. But the thing is, he still loved Hannah more than he loved Penina. And the thing that I want to share with you guys is that whatever your it is that you are praying for and you're asking God for in your life, you have got to be patient. You have got to stay the course. Don't offer up a distraction. Don't give somebody time enough. You don't give somebody permission to come in and take what God has set up for you. You don't do that. And that's where Hannah messed up because she was thinking, oh my God, it's been 10 years. I'm not going to ever get it. So she brought Penina into the picture. So what I want you to think about, what your Penina is. And then Penina began to get beside herself. Y'all, Penina started teasing her, started talking about, you ain't this and you ain't that. So Penina became her hater. Penina became a distraction. Penina is what's happening to you right now because you're waiting on your it. You know that God has given you the vessel to carry it to filtration. You know that God has given you the thought process in order to take it to that next level. But just know that what your Penina is and identify it and start calling it Penina. See, right now, y'all, I'm getting ready to challenge you. Because you thinking that you got it, but you've been waiting on that it, and you've been getting your haters and distractions. That's Penina. Your procrastination, y'all, that's Penina. The lack of money, that's Penina. The lack of hope, that is Penina. The lack of wholeness, that is Penina. The lack of opportunity, that is Penina. You got to start calling those things that what they are, because in a way you invited that in because you lost your faith. You lost what God had already showed you. But the redemption is going to the altar. The redemption is going and doing just like Hannah did. Hannah went to the temple. Y'all know Eli was a great prophet. And Hannah on the altar, she just like, and I could just see her just shaking. And she just going in. Her mouth is moving. Nothing is coming out of her mouth. And he's going to tell her, when you going to stop being drunk? Why are you in here drunk? She said, I'm not drunk. I'm praising God and I'm praying to God. sometimes you got to pray for what you want in silence. It doesn't matter what people are looking at and what they're saying about you. You know what you're doing between you and God. You know what you're saying and asking God for. Sometimes you can't tell everybody what you're praying for because you just want it to be just you and God, because you don't want that spirit of Penina to come up on you, or that spirit of Penina to jump into somebody to start hating on you, stop paying you what you're worth. You don't want that spirit of Penina to start hearing it and being distracted from what you're doing, because you have got to go forth to God and do it. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I forgot. I got excited. I forgot to share y'all the scripture because, see, I know y'all don't believe me. So in 1 Samuel, in her deep anguish, Hannah prayed to the Lord, weeping bitterly. That means she was on there going in, y'all. She was crying. She was sharing her heart with God. As she kept on praying to the Lord, Eli observed her mouth. He observed her mouth. Y'all, people are watching what you're saying, whether you're verbalizing or whether you're not, whether it's your facial expression, people are watching you. Hannah was praying in her heart. Her lips were moving, but her voice was not heard. Eli thought she was drunk. So let them think that you're drunk. Let them think that you're crazy. Let them think that you just doing what you're doing. But you got to know what you're doing. And then jumping down to 14 and said to her, how long are you going to stay drunk? Put away your wine. He thinks he's drinking. And Hannah replied, I am a woman. That right there. I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine or beer. That's what you got to know, y'all. You got to be able to tell people that you are not what they think. Because when you do that, you got it right there. You got it. And as she kept praying, the Lord observed her mouth. And Hannah was praying in her heart. Her lips were moving, but her voice was not. And Eli thought she was drunk. We said that already. I'm so sorry. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. That's what you have to know. Early the next morning, they arose and worshiped before the Lord, and then went back to their home at Ramah. Elkanah made love to his wife, Hannah, and the Lord remembered her. So in the course of time, Hannah became pregnant and gave birth to their son. She named him Samuel, saying, because I asked the Lord for him. Yeah, that right there. What is your Samuel? What is your Samuel? And that's what you're going to be naming your it. Because when it comes to pass, when it comes forth, you are going to know, and you're going to be able to say Samuel. And nobody else got to know what you're talking about. You just going to start saying Samuel, because that is what you asked the Lord for. You asked the Lord to come through and give you something out of that. And that's what I want you to know. Don't let the Peninas of your life distract you from what you are doing. Because what God has called you to, God is going to bring you through. And that is what you're going to be doing. Because what? That is your Samuel. Y'all, you got to do it. Well, all right, guys, I'll be right back with you. And I hope nothing else that you got from that motivational moment. Get ready to start calling forth your Samuel. Well, hello. I'm so excited you are with me, y'all. I got Miss Shauntae in the house. How are you?
I am well. So glad to be here in the space with Deborah Franklin. Conversation. I'm ready to step. I'm ready.
You ready? You ready? I'm loving it. I am so excited about tonight because we are talking about the it. And and then why hasn't it happened? And so many times we look around and we see things that are happening around us, and we start wondering, why is it not happening for me? It's happening for everybody. You know what? I'm so sorry. I'm so excited about tonight. I forgot. Shauntae, tell everybody who you are and what you're doing. And we got some people. Hey, Adrian, nice to meet you. Amen. Thank you, Adrian.
Shout out to the Winning Zone Queen.
Win Zone. Huh? Go ahead.
I said the Win Zone. the Wind Zone is in the building and the Rock Your Wind Zone tribe. Hey, hey, hey.
Love it. She said, "Hey, Queen." Well, yo, I'm just so excited about tonight, about what we're going to be talking about, and just tell the people who you are. And once you tell the people who you are, then we're gonna jump right in and get this show started.
Well, hello, tribe out there. Conversations with Deborah Franklin. I am Shauntae C, the mindset and personal growth coach, equipping entrepreneurs just like you to break cycles of inadequacy and comparison in your business so that you can achieve marketability and profitability in your business. And I am here and I'm excited to discuss your it. What is it? Can it happen already? And I want to let you know that it can. And we're going to get in conversation why.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Hey, Madonna, thanks for joining us live. Yes, that it is powerful. And I think as women, we tend to miss the mark because we don't identify our it. And how would you advise somebody who's looking for their it? Or to define their it?
Okay, so as you were talking about it, and I enjoyed the motivational moment, it, to me, I love acronyms, stands for your internal truth. Taking ownership and owning who you are. And don't ask, because you was given the analogy about Hannah and Peninnah. So it's not about, God, what am I getting? But more so, what am I becoming? God, what is it that I am becoming? And I'm reminded of the verse that you talked about. I believe it was verse 8. And she said, I was pouring out my soul to God. And really what that raises awareness to is that she was sharing her truth. She was pouring out her internal truth, what was going on the inside, because sometimes we don't want to be real with ourselves. We don't want to face the facts. But when we begin to come honest and have a clear-cut conversation and know where we are, flaws and all, we can accomplish so much more. So it's not about, God, what am I getting? Because you're going to get the promise. But what am I becoming in this process? What is it that God is trying to show me? Or what is the real deal that's going on with me? And so when we can begin to take ownership of our feelings and begin to take ownership of where we are, we can be so further along.
Most definitely. I totally agree, because I like that when you said internal truth. And that means a lot, because you can't identify that it until you know what's true inside of you. Because you can think because you can misinterpret your it. Because I feel like that's what Hannah did. Hannah sat there and was like, she was thinking that it wasn't going to happen for her and that it wasn't going to come to pass. So she brought somebody in. How many times do you think we bring people into our lives prematurely, thinking that we're not going to reach our goal?
Right. Exactly. And that's why you can't look at what am I getting, but more so, again, what am I becoming? What is it that is going to, whoever it is and whatever it is, what is it in my life that's going to get me to my next, or that's going to get me greater? You have to understand that if you look at the things that you have acquired or where you are right now, it was because of the decisions and the choices that you have made to get you to this point. So you have to think about it like this, even in that case with Hannah Peninnah, with Hannah. How she showed up was the determinant to her next. It was the prerequisite. And people are not going to understand where you are, but it's a matter of how you show it out, how you're showing up. And with her, she poured out her soul to God. Ain't worried about the worshipers in the temple, ain't worried about what he said, but it's more so, this is between me and God, and you can't tell everybody your business. Sometimes this is, and I want you to catch this.
Yeah.
You got to run with the vision and let others catch up later. And I'm going to say that again. You got to learn how to run with your vision and let the others catch up later.
Yeah. That's real. Adrian said, "Amen," and then she said, "The
Mhm.
promises, yes, ma'am." Because you know what?
Mhm.
I know that's how we miss the mark so much because
Mhm.
we try to tell everybody. We kind of go into that Joseph syndrome. You telling everybody your dream and not realizing the people that you think are there to support you are really the ones that are tearing you down. So sometimes
Mhm.
you got to pray in silence and hope for that thing to just come forth.
Right. Right.
So what
And you,
advice would
yep.
you give? I know that's right, Adrian. Adrian said, "Run with the vision." Yes, indeed, run with the quickly,
Exactly.
hurry. Because that always reminds me of Habakkuk 2:2. We got to write the vision and make it plain, and then, but the key part is that people to forget about. You got to tell somebody so they can run with it, but you can't tell them prematurely.
Mhm.
So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Adrian is giving me life with these. She is giving me.
Mhm.
So I'm excited about that. And then, so what would you tell somebody that was going through? Because as a coach, what would you tell somebody that comes to you and they're saying that they're battling with, I guess, whatever their it factor is? What could you tell them? Especially, I know we have women that are watching tonight, or even men that are watching tonight that they have been home in this pandemic. Now they may be going back to work, and now when they get back to work, and it is still not what they desire it to be. What would you share with them?
You know, as we're in this pandemic, there are those who are just sitting back and they're just wondering how it's going to happen for them. But I'm reminded of the scripture in Malachi 3 and 9, I believe it says, "Prove me now in this, if I will not open you up the windows of heaven and pour you out the blessing." Hear me when I say this. It's not so much money that you need. You just need a door. You are the window. What are the gifts and talents that are in you that can give you accessibility to the doors of opportunity, the many doors of opportunity that are out here? Again, you just need a window. You just need a door.
Mm-hmm.
You are the window. So you have to pour out. You have to initiate the pursuit. Initiate it. Again, don't ask what am I getting, but what am I becoming? You have to initiate that because you have everything you need within you to manifest. But you got to separate the God ideas from the good ideas. God
No, you better
ideas
say that
is
one
about
right there again. Say that right there. I need a bell tonight. Yes, come on. Say that again.
the God ideas from the good ideas. Ask yourself, is this a God idea or is this just a good idea? Because good ideas, a lot of people, what you're finding, they chase after passions. Yeah, I'm passionate about cooking. Yeah, I'm passionate. We're educators. Yeah, we're passionate about teaching the students. Yeah, I'm passionate about, preaching or Christian education. But is that really, am I really in alignment with what God is calling me to or with my purpose? When you
Well,
begin to pursue your purpose and align, it's alignment, focus on the God ideas, that's when you'll find that the doors are opening. Because again, you are the window. You are the window. So
yeah.
pursue the God agenda and not just, oh, well, this is good.
Mm-hmm. And Adrian said, work the vision and they will catch up later.
I'll catch
Yes,
up with you later.
yes,
Yep.
indeed. Yes. Tiffany said, this is good. Thank you so much. Because you know what? And as educators and as people that work in ministry, we so many times
Mhm.
forget that our gift that God has given us usually will line up with what we're doing in the marketplace. But we always think that those are so totally separate, and they're not. And so many people are missing the mark because they trying to live separate lives. What do you say
Mhm.
to that? How can I identify my quote unquote my God thing and then my wannabe thing?
Ooh, see, this is getting good right here because I work with marketplace leaders about how not to negatively negotiate away your power. And I think that is a true calling in itself when you're called to marketplace, because you got to know how to be able to blend without negotiating or giving away yourself or feeling like that you're going to lose your Jesus or your God. And so what I say to that sense is, again, you have to take ownership with who you are. And can I say this? I got to say this because I'm finding that a lot of times in the marketplace and with a lot of faith-based leaders, they fear change. And really, what is the God that you serve? Because is this God that you serve, is this a God of a system of punishments and rewards? Or do you feel like, if I just live this perfect life, that God will reward me because of my good behavior? And that's not living according to holiness, because I believe that holiness is still right. I believe that it is, but holiness is going back to your internal truth. And I believe that when we begin to work on ourselves and really let go of our ego, pride, and entitlement, because there's a lot of that. We can be busy getting a mote out of somebody else's eye that we won't deal with the beam in our own eye. We really begin to deal with ourselves and own our truth.
That's real.
Then we really can live life according to the power of the Spirit. We got to get out of the confines of the church walls, or some of us, belief systems are embedded so deep. Hear me, Deborah. They're embedded so deep that we fear change. We fear that if we change, and it's not even about conforming, but if you have a mindset, your awareness, if you come into an awareness of what's going on, again, the God ideas, because religiosity and doctrinization and demonization will hold you into a limited belief system. It will hold you.
It'll hold you.
But if we really if we really get in tune to God, the God ideas, the God agenda, the God consciousness, we can really see what's happening. We really can really be an impact, make an impact in the world that we have today. But we fear the change. We fear it when transformation is there. It really is. But you have to dig deep within yourself to find that truth, it fact.
Definitely. Because so many times we want to throw that scripture that you are changed by the renewing of your mind. But that's true. You're gonna have to change everything. You just can't renew your mind and think something gonna change and you don't change. Because change means that sometimes you got to question that doctrine. Sometimes you got to question that pattern because it may not fit for where we are going. Okay, so as educators, that's just like trying to teach all kids the same. As an educator, we got to what? Differentiate.
We got this asynchronous and synchronous learning stuff going on. So you got to do it.
You got to do it. And so many times, because I work with church girl CEOs, and I tell them all the time, we got to get rid of the church lingo. The reason why people don't want to work with you is because everything you say is praise God. Yes, Jesus. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Okay, but I love the Lord. He heard my whole cry. But we have got to put things in perspective. And now, but you know what? I got to go back because it just popped back into my head. You said holiness. Girl, we don't talk about holiness in 2020. What you talking about? Because holiness means I got to be set apart. Holiness means that I got to hold up and be real. What do you say to people that bring that back to life? Because a lot of times, when we was kids, we used to laugh at them old folks talk about holiness, live holy, because the Lord said live holy. How do you deal with that, especially dealing with women in the marketplace, thinking that they have to now you're ready to take a turn. They got to compromise who they are in order to make it in the marketplace.
Yeah, holiness. And we have so many definitions. I'm more of the radical here. I am the radical person. So I'm here for it. You invited me, so here you go. Holiness. Holiness is, yes, it is set apart, but I believe also, to add to that, it's living a holistic life, living a life of truth and balance. I think one of the challenges for um, high achieving women of faith, we don't have that balance. And if I could go here for a minute, let's
Please.
say, for example, when it comes to dating, now, we will believe God to get the job. We believe God if we want to find ourselves to get a new house, a new car. You want to get your nails done, your toes. You want to get that $300 bundle. You know, you want to get those $80 lash look. You want to get your body snatch. We believe God. We believe we can get that. We take initiative. We initiate the pursuit in that. But when it comes to certain aspects such as relationships or love, we're waiting on the Lord. Why? Because that could be the very thing
we're indoctrinated with. That was indoctrinated into us.
Yeah. Yeah. And so again, we have to take, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it again. We have to take ownership, going back to that your internal truth. What is real? Be real with yourself and where you are. And again, let me ask this, and this is for everybody. Ask yourself, where's God located in your life? Where is God?
Wow.
Where is God in your life? Where is God located? And when you begin to wrestle with that point, then you'll understand, okay, I have to look at my life and take self-examination. Number one, what are my attachments to power? Because we're talking about holiness, being balanced. What are my attachments to power? It goes back to what you said, Deborah, about some people come into your life, you may have them prematurely. Well, let's go back to your ego, your pride, and your entitlements. You know, well, because I held out, I know I deserve. Look at her; she out there doing what she want to do. But see, the Lord gonna bless me because I done held out. I done did this. I go to church every Sunday. I fast on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I read my word. I go to the prayer meeting and everything. Good behaviors. Your pride telling you, instead of being honest with yourself, to say, God, you know, I desire, or God, this is what I want. Just like we talked about Hannah and Peninnah, she was real. She was real with it. It wasn't nobody's business, but it was between her and God. But she was real because of her internal truth. She came to the truth. God, I want to bear children. I want this.
So let's tell the whole truth. The reason why they were able to be kept for so long, and they pointing fingers, and they talking about, oh, she out there doing this and doing that, and I'm at home and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. That's because wasn't nobody calling you. Tell the whole truth. Wasn't nobody pursuing you because you good and crazy. So let's just tell all of it, because a lot of times we want to throw that. I can't stand when women do that. You want to sit up and talking about you done kept yourself. That's because wasn't nobody chasing you no way. And you honor it. I'm sorry, I went there. But anywho, let me, you know what? Let me just go on to the comment. Tracy said that's a real.
We didn't mean to go that way. I'm just thinking.
And she said, speak to that balance. Yes, indeed. We have to have balance. And you know, so many times, especially when we start talking about dating in the church, and then dating, then women, okay, and the other thing, when we're talking about dating, women that have not been married or have not had children, I'm tired of that stigma of what's wrong with you. Hey, God just didn't put me in that position to have that yet. Or somebody that's divorced that has children, now they got a stigma. Let's stop with the stigma and just say, hey, I'm a woman, I'm single, and if you want to get married, say you want to get married. Now stop saying, oh, I'm waiting on the Lord. Yeah, you waiting on the Lord, but you got to start, as you said, speaking those things into the atmosphere. You speak job, you speak house, you speak shoes, and like you said, you speak even eyelashes. But you're not speaking what you really want. Well, guess who's in the studio? Your homegirl has shown up, y'all. The homegirl is here. We getting ready to add in Miss Cierra Scott. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, everybody.
Well, I know you've been hearing this conversation. It's time for you to just jump on in. We talking about the it. what's holding you back. We done talked about Hannah and Penina. We done even got to date. Girl, tell everybody who you are and what you do. And we're going to jump right on in with that.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cierra. I am an instructional coach in a Richmond area middle school. I have been an educator this is actually a decade for me, so that's crazy. And also, when I'm not working in education, I am at home as a mom. And I like to call myself a cook. I love to cook. I might not be a chef, but yes, I'm an instructional coach, a mom, and a cook.
I love it, y'all. Because we all in education. And the funny part is that you said 10 years, girl. When I looked up and it said, I was like, wait a minute. I've been in the classroom this long? What, Lord, what's going on? When I hit that 7, I think I'm at 7. Y'all, I'm at 17. That's scary.
That's
y'all,
amazing.
Yeah. I ain't never had no job for no 17 years. That's but sometimes when you fall into education, you literally fall in and can't get out.
Yeah.
I'm on my way. But anyway, that's a whole nother show. So let's jump in with this issue. We are talking about, how do we I led with Hannah and Penina, and that your could be, you probably could have invited the distraction into your life, not knowing that you did. And that's what's holding you up from getting your So how would you advise somebody or share with them how to, I guess, get to prepare for their Because Hannah just was over it. She went to the altar and was like, okay, God, for real though? Like, I could just, to me, I just feel like she was on the altar crying and couldn't nobody hear because she was talking to God the way she talked to God. She wasn't talking to no something. She was like, what's up? Look, you done had me, I done waited, might as well say she done waited 20 years and you still ain't blessed me. What's going on? Now this chick making fun of me and you still ain't gave me my and she just went in. So, how would you handle that?
I think waiting is a season that can be very challenging. So I think that what you have to do is make up your mind how bad you want it. And you have to really figure out if it's worth what's going to have to take place, which 9 times out of 10, when we're talking about God, he does have to prepare us for that season. And I was looking at this meme, and my mom even tagged me in it, where, sometimes those who have an awesome testimony have been put through tremendous tests. And so I think that we see so much of the glory on others' lives, but we really don't know the backstory. And I think we have to understand what it means when we tell God, this is what I want, because yes, God, I want to be a millionaire, but we don't know the journey to that millionaire status. Now, of course, God knows it. And sometimes, I think about that song, even when we can't see it, he's working. Even when we don't feel it, he is working. But the thing is that God is preparing us so that when we get to that season, we don't fall from grace. We are not too haughty and pompous, and that we are going to still want him, because Natalie Grant has this song where she says that she wants to know the healer more than she gets the healing. And I think sometimes God wants to know that we will want him more than that thing he gives us. And if he knows that we're not ready, or if he knows that that thing will ultimately destroy us, there might be a waiting process. And sometimes I feel like we give up on that too soon, because it's not really looking like God is doing anything. And it's not honestly the way that we pictured it happening in our minds and our hearts. And because now we're uncomfortable, we let it go. But I think that you have to really decide, honestly, to put your money where your mouth is. And if you decide to pray a big girl, bold prayer, you have to understand that God is not going to play with you, because you didn't come to him in prayer playing. You was very specific. I want it to be laid out X, Y, and Z. And God is a God, he can do that and more. However, we have to really ask ourselves, is this what I really want? Because if it is what you really want, you have to keep your eye on that prize, and you cannot be moved, honestly, by yourself, let alone all the energy that can be coming from other people and things around you.
I totally agree. That is so powerful. And as you were talking, something just dropped in my spirit, because you said if you are going to pray that big girl prayer, what are you going to do? But the thing is, what are you going to do when God speaks back to you and says, I'm going to give you what you asked for? Now, clearly say, I'm going to give you what you asked for, but it's not going to look or be the package that you're expecting. What do we do with that?
Yeah.
And
you want to answer first?
Y'all to jump in on that one. Come on, y'all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see, Lord have mercy. Okay, see, you have that, and it goes to what Cierra said. You have to. We have this list as women. We get the list. We get the little list. But even in that list, again, you have to ask yourself, what is it that I truly desire? What is it that I need? Because we have wants, but we have to say, God, I leave it to you. Like Cierra said, like the healer. I leave it. I know God will heal me, but I commit this in the hands of the healer. When you give it to God, you give it to God. And just know that God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory. God will supply the need. God's going to give you what you need. And we have to learn how to, in that, be satisfied enough to say, well, I'm grateful and thankful that God has given me, because it's going to meet the need. And when we align ourselves, and I'm saying this about alignment is so important. When we begin to align ourselves according to God, or to God's way and God's heart, when we align ourselves, then our desires become aligned in his, that we'll be satisfied, because the flesh is going to always want what it wants.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing, what God, thank you. You knew what I needed. Okay, he may not be 6'5", but God, I thank you. I'm happy. He loving me. He treat me right. I don't want for nothing. But no, he ain't 6'5". He ain't light skin, curly hair, dark chocolate. It's all, we have our differences, but we have to learn how to be satisfied in God, or in God's will, in spite of our desires, because the flesh is going to want what it's want all day, and it's never going to be satisfied and quenched. But we have to align.
I like it. Cierra, you jumping in on that one? We
I mean, honestly, a big ditto, but I think, it's so funny that you brought that up, Shauntae, because I was going to say that, we can, as women, have honestly a fantasy of what we think God is going to do. And I think that's what messes us up. We fantasize about the way that God will cause things to manifest in our lives. And instead of us honestly opening our eyes enough to see the reality that it's still amazing, and sometimes even better than what we could have ever truly imagined, we are so stuck in, but I really, like you said, I really wanted him to be 6'5". I really wanted him to be older than me. I really thought I was going to have 4 children. I really thought that I was going to live in a mansion by now. I really thought at 35 that I would already be done raising my kids for the most part. And, I think that we have to get to a place where we don't let that fantasy of how we want God to manifest those dreams and those desires keep our eyes wide shut to what he really is doing, and how great that is, and how great that can be, because we do come from a place where our eyes are wide shut, and we have people who would love to be in our position. They see what God is doing, but we're still stuck in that fantasy of, I wanted God to do it this way. And so we miss how miraculous things that are happening for our lives really are.
Yeah, and I think, and just to piggyback on what both of you guys were saying, we put God in a box. And when we put God in that box, And then we put ourselves in that same box. We tell other people, don't put me in no box, but in all actuality, you put yourself in a box because you don't open up your heart or your mind to, like we said, like you said earlier, Shauntae, to something new, something different. Like, because when you said the age thing, that just totally cracked. It almost cracked me up because right now a lot of women's like, I ain't going with no younger man or vice, But I'm like, y'all, at this rate, you got to kind of think. And I'm not saying go get your go. I ain't saying.
Right, right.
Let me help the people.
Don't help.
I'm saying we talking 5-10 years, somewhere in there, but not no 2030, because 2030 there's left, but that's another show. We ain't talking about that. But but what I'm saying is, it's just opening your mind, because when you're praying for your it to be revealed or to be manifested, your it may come in a different type of package. And let's take it even a step further. Your it may even come in a different nationality.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yes.
you might have to go on vacation to meet or see or even to acquire your it. But the thing is, you got to be ready to go. How many women are holding themselves back because they don't even want to go anywhere? I'm talking pre Rona. I'm not now doing Rona. Rona, I get it, but pre Rona, they wouldn't go. They wouldn't go anywhere. They wouldn't try new things. What do you tell people? Share with women about that in your it process of just trying new things and stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Okay. I think one, we have to be willing to admit that we are afraid to step out of our comfort zone. I think that we spend too much time trying to be strong Black women, which again is a whole other show. I think that we need to allow ourselves to be vulnerable and say, this is a scary place for me, but whatever God is doing, I'm going to trust him, even though I'm afraid. And I think sometimes, as you said earlier with the church lingo, we feel like if we trust God, we cannot express that we have fear and concern and questions. And again, you should absolutely question God. He is all knowing. He is the epitome of wisdom. Who else should you question? I think so. The first step is acknowledging that you are at that place that you want to step outside of your comfort zone. And then I think the second place is you need to be okay with saying, okay, I've said I'm not comfortable. But the thing is, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And if you refuse to move, you refuse to move. So you gotta just be willing to move, even though it's scary. I mean, it is going to be scary, and I'm inclined to even believe that if it really is God, it's probably not going to be a cakewalk, because I don't know anything with God that is just so simple and so easy and so calculated, so I think you just need to acknowledge that you are afraid, but I think you just can't stay stuck. You just got to make yourself step outside of that comfort zone. And if it's hard for you, get yourself surrounded with, some friends and some praying friends that will, one, speak truth to you as they love you out of being stuck in that same place.
I totally agree. So, let's just to take a little shift in our it factor. We talked about relationships. Because a lot of people, we have, if we're honest with ourselves, it is their relationship. It is they want to be, with the husband, and they want the children, they want the family, and age is always popping in here. But I want to take a shift and start talking about your it in business, because so many times people feel like when they get the no, when they get the, oh, we don't want to work with you, that takes them off course. What would you share with them about that?
I would share that it takes no's to get to your yes. And it's a matter of value, and this is what I teach a lot too. A lot of times we're taught about the economic value, but then there's the thing of self-value. And when you are told no, then some entrepreneurs feel like that's a check against them, like, oh my gosh, does that mean that I'm not good enough? Oh my Lord, maybe I need to quit. Maybe I need to go back. Maybe I need this. Maybe I need that. The inner critic starts talking to you. But you have to realize that as you begin to niche down, as you begin to reach your ideal audience and know who you serve, you'll be able to pitch, or you'll be able to put yourself out there even more with confidence, because you're going to get the rejection. It's studies that only 3% will really be those who will invest, regardless if you have a program, regardless if you have a summit strat, whatever it is that you have in your business, you're going to get a 3% turnover rate of those who will turn over. But you have to be comfortable with the no's, because it's going to be a lot of no's. But when you get that yes, there will be someone who will invest in you. There will be someone who will take the leap with you. And once you get that first client, or once you make that first 1K, 5K, 10K, you're not going to ever want to go back. And you'll realize that, this was worth it. All of those no's was worth this 10,000 yes, or this 5K yes, however you are. It was worth it. But you've got to get to a level of confidence where it's okay if they say no. I didn't want to work with you anyway. That may not be your client anyway. So it's all good. You have to learn how to have that confidence in your business and understand your self-value.
Most definitely. And, like I told somebody, I said, praying about something, and then you pray and you ask God to do this for your business, but you never take that leap for yourself. You always take the leap for somebody else. You're always, how can I say this? They got something, you be like, yeah, let me join in with you. Let me join in with you. And then you're like, well, why they told me no? God spoke something so loud in my spirit the other day. You got to know, because you were supposed to create it for yourself. You were supposed to be on that platform. You weren't supposed to be in that group. You weren't supposed to be a part of that. I got something else for you, but you got to create it for yourself. How do we speak to that fear of stepping out on your own?
You want to take it, Cierra?
Sure. I think that fear of stepping out on your own, I think sometimes we have to really remember that even though this is our dream, it is our desire, whatever that it thing is for us to do in business. I think we have to also know that essentially we are paving the way. And our choice not to step out could be the difference between someone that is coming behind us making it or not. I think we have to approach business matters selflessly. Yes, this is going to be a business that blesses me, and my gifts are going to make room for me. However, it's not really about us. This is for the benefit and the blessing of someone else. This is going to impact someone else. And I think once we get to a place where we aren't so selfish and we remember that it's just not only about us, I think that we will be a lot more inclined to step out, even if we have to be the first one. I think also you need the right people in your corner to, yes, speak truth to you, but also encourage you and push you. And I know that in my work setting, when I'm in PLCs with teachers, I grant them 60 to 120 seconds to complain, to gripe, to get out all their qualms. After that, I'm like, okay, so what's the solution? What are we going to do? And you need people who are not going to let you just stay stuck. I mean, I don't know why I keep going back to that, but you need the right people in your corner, whether it be 1 or 21 or 11, whatever. You need those people who are going to, yes, let you say, I'm scared. I'm not sure where to start. I don't know if I'm going to have the right connections, but you need people who say, but you still need to do it. This is what you need to do. and we're going to back you. You need people that are going to support you. And if you fall, they won't point fingers and say, I told you so, but they will again, okay, so what's the solution? That didn't work. What can we try this time? Because we can't quit. We got to just come from a different angle. And like you said earlier, okay, well, Joe Schmo said no, but maybe Jane Schmo is going to say yes. You know, let's see who else we can go to.
I love it. And yes, for the one that takes the lead, most definitely. All right, Shauntae, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, and also you have to learn how to, and you talked about this, taking risks, because understand the power of tribes. Sometimes you got to step away from the tribe, because the tribe lingo is the power of many, or really, the many voices that speak for the one, speak as one unit. So when you get into tribal conversations or in the tribe, it's not about you. It's not about individuality. And sometimes the tribe can be the very thing that can hold you back. I have a saying that if you find that you're boxed in, maybe it's time for you to change your circle. And sometimes you got to step outside of the tribe to really hone in, to really take that leap, to really, in entrepreneur world, take the risks. You have to be able to take the risks. And sometimes the risks aren't calculated, because that's why so many business people fall into the imposter syndrome, because it's like, okay, well, maybe I need to get more of this. Maybe I need, if I take one more course, maybe if I just do it like Deborah do, maybe if I become a coach like Cierra, maybe I'll get to this place, or maybe I'll come into my, 4 figures. But it's not like that. You have to step away sometimes from the tribe so that you can get clear focus and align, like Cierra says, to those who will push you, to those who will say, hey, I got you, but look, you may want to, do this or that, who will hold you accountable. It's okay, because again, the tribe speaks for the consensus of all. And sometimes you may buck that, and you may not be saying the same thing. And when you know for yourself that your purpose is driving you, that you know that you're leaving and that you're going to something greater. Sometimes you got to out.
Right there. And you know what else? And in your tribe of who's going to push you and who's going to really stand by you. Come on, guys. You may not look like what you expect either. I know that sometimes, because I tell everybody, think about it. Jesus had 12 disciples and they were all different. He had a cusser and a fighter and a killer in his corner. So if that's the case, you need to check your people too. If you don't have a cusser in your group, because see, that's the one that's going to tell you the truth straight up. I don't care. Some cussers don't. Some people can cuss you out without using cuss words. Y'all know what I mean. But if you got to have that one person that's going to give you that tough love, that push, that now you good and crazy. What you think in your circle? But so many church people or Christian people or religion, whatever that word you said that I can't get out right now, get caught up into, I can't work with those people because they do X, Y, and Z. I can't work with this person because they do X, Y, and Z. I can't work with this person because her title, because as opposed to saying that she's a prophetess, she says she's a seer, but yet still she can still train. I'm sorry, I'm going to go somewhere. But how do we tell people, or how can we share with them tonight to not be afraid to, again, you know what? That goes back to stepping outside your comfort zone or stepping out of your doctrine, what you've been indoctrinated to. Don't laugh at me.
I think, and Shauntae hit on this, and it really stuck out. I think that it comes down to you knowing your purpose, not thinking or questioning your purpose, but you have to know your purpose. And that comes from you first off knowing who you are, and then, okay, who am I? And now what do I do with that? And if you have a question about those, if you are unsure about those, that is going to be your own hindrance, your own stumbling block. And so I think that the biggest thing is for you to remember your purpose, because at the end of the day, the name of the game is results. If you look at in the education setting, when we're taking standardized tests, when we are getting baseline data, mid-year data, end of the year data, the name of the game is results. When we step into the business world, the name of the game is results. So you have to let the fact that you are trying to get results be your driving force. And that has to come from you knowing your purpose. So if it takes you stepping outside of your doctrine, if it takes you stepping outside of your denomination to, to get your results, you have to do what you have to do. And you have to, even Shauntae said this in a way, you have to get to a place where it might just be me and God for a season. And you have to be okay with that, because some people, 9 times out of 10, people are not really going to be down for your struggle phase. They're not. That's just the reality of it. Who really wants to really deal with a struggle phase? So I get it.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with that, because yes, you will have the same people who really were not interested when you were struggling, when you didn't have 2 nickels to rub together to get this business off the ground. But once you get that, like Shauntae said, that 10K sale, and they never stop, and now you are able to truly work for yourself, of course you're going to have the same people come back around, but that's okay, because even then you still have to know your purpose and stay humble, because again, it's not about just you, know, and so I just think that is how you step outside of some of those things that have hindered us, such as doctrine, such as denomination, such as expectations, whether it be gender expectations, racial expectations, whatever. I think you just have to cling to your purpose and know who you are.
I love it. I love it. Well, ladies, believe it or not, it is time for the end of our show. I want to thank you guys for joining in with us. And before we leave, I want you guys to just tell everybody first, tell them one thing to encourage them tonight, and how they can find you. And yeah, that's what we need. Go, whoever wants to start out.
Go ahead, Shauntae.
Okay, everybody. Just want to let you know on tonight that it takes a lot of no's to get to your yes. But again, once you get to your yes, you'll never go back. And can it happen already? Yes, it can. Own your truth, your internal truth, and you shall find the success, the breakthrough, the deliverance, and the victory that you need.
Where can they find you?
Oh, where y'all can find me? Oh, you can find me on social media. I'm so sorry. You can find me on Facebook. Please, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Personal message me, as always, on Shauntae C. Hudson. That's Shauntae C. Hudson. And let's have a conversation on how you can find breakthrough in your career or your lifestyle. Would love to have a chat.
I think my word of encouragement, because I closed a chapter last week, and it's been a week since I closed a chapter that I have been truly looking forward to closing. I think my word of encouragement is to not quit. I think my word of encouragement is truly, regardless of what it looks like, regardless of what it does not look like, does not feel like, just don't quit. That's my word of encouragement. And that is something that I held on to because I've been waiting for this for almost 18 months. So I will say, just don't quit. And also allow yourself to say, I'm tired of waiting and it's taking too long. And again, after you are real with that, with God, that's the person I just had to be real with it about.
Right.
Just get back up and don't quit. And it's okay to let God know, I'm really frustrated. I'm waiting for you to move and it does not look like you're moving. Just be your most true and authentic and vulnerable self with God, but still just don't quit. You guys can find me here on Facebook. Cierra Sky is my personal page, and my business page, Lady After God. Find me there. Please like and share. And thank you so much for having me, Deborah. Always a pleasure.
Always. I want to thank you guys. And y'all know you can find us on everything, Conversations with Deborah Franklin. And we look forward to seeing you real soon. Love you to life. Peace.
Church Girl CEO, for women who are leaders in ministry and business, are looking for you to join our Facebook group where we encourage each other every day. We have Motivational Monday, Tip Tuesday, and now we have Feature Friday, where you will get to be featured with your business. Now, everyone should write a book, and if you're ready to tell your story before the end of the year, then you need to visit www.writethebook.com and be like these other authors of truth. And you got this. Register today.